All right, hello everyone. It's not too often that I have a video so quickly after my last video, but just recently talked about how we need to be able to um, analyze current events and what's going on in the world on our own because we can't trust our leaders to do that. And today, something pretty significant is happening that, or happened, I should say, that I think it was worth me bringing the way that I think to you. And if you find value for it, maybe you will decide that you maybe need to take some actions yourself, and what those actions are, we'll get to. So as I am transmitting this, the word is out that Israel has actually invaded Lebanon. Um, Lebanon is to the north of Israel. The Gaza Strip is where Hamas is. Hezbollah is in Lebanon. And there's been quite a bit of chaos there. And I'll come back around to that in just a minute. But this is that in itself is a significant escalation. And it comes at a time when their events are percolating such that all it is, it's like someone has taken a bunch of kindling and they put it into a big pile, and they keep making the pile bigger and bigger and bigger, and it isn't like there's actual flame yet, at least not for us, but all it would take is a spark. That's all it would take is a spark. And I think what's happening right now, with Israel making this move, definitely not even caring so much, it appears, about what the opinion of Biden is in the United States. They seem to be acting, Israel seems to be acting completely on their own with this. And I think what is going on is they know that in a little over 4 weeks, there's going to be a presidential election, and everything in America will change, and they could find that their hands are tied in a significant way. And so I think they're trying to, Israel here is trying to buy some leverage for themselves to obtain certain strategic and tactical advantages now that they might not be able to obtain after the election. Um, Trump thinks and believes, and there's good reason to think he's right in many respects, that he is the great peacemaker. And he has made it clear that he intends on bringing peace very quickly to the Israel conflict, but even more so, he's said this about the Ukraine Russia thing. In fact, he said that if he's elected, he will be able to bring that to an end even before he takes office, which was a pretty ballsy thing to say. I mean, we're assuming that he survives, but there. So I think that so the reason why I brought that up is because Ukraine did essentially the same thing, right? Ukraine invaded portions of Russia not too long ago, a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so, and they actually hold territory in Russia right now, which is astonishing, really. And what's even more astonishing is that Putin has not moved diligently to repel them, and it would appear that Zelensky wants to get some bargaining chips um, in his pocket, in his hand, in case Trump wins, in particular, in case Trump wins, so that he can go to the negotiating table with Trump sort of hovering over it and saying, look, we're not going to give back the Donbass unless we get something in return. and maybe we'll just keep these Russian territories if that doesn't work. However that plays out, the fact that they made that action, Ukraine made that action when they did, the fact that Israel is doing this action now when they are, it begs the question: what is China going to do before the election to secure bargaining chips? But I'm not going to get too far afield. I just wanted to get to this quickly because along with the ground invasion of Lebanon, so instead of like just shooting rockets and missiles and stuff, but actually sending troops boots on the ground um, into Lebanon, he also directly addressed the people of Iran, and this is the kind of thing that catches my attention. It makes me wonder if there's even more in the works. And I'm going to actually play this. It's 3 minutes long. You can find it. I've got this from the AP. I see that their logo is not on the side; it's cropped out, but it's on the AP YouTube channel. So let's just watch this, and then I'll give you some. I'll stop it and give some commentary on some parts that jumped out at me. Hopefully, you can hear that. Just in case you can't hear it, I'm gonna turn on the captions here. Start it over. So I think I got it so that you can hear it, but just in case. Okay, so let's just pause right there for a minute. So he's talking here. He's addressing directly the people of Iran, and he's drawing a distinction between the leaders of Iran, the Ayatollah and whatnot, and the people of Iran. Now, why would he do that? What does he hope to obtain from this? Some sort of grassroots goodwill, public relations. The people of Iran have warm and happy, fuzzy thoughts about Israel. I mean, who cares? But he knows Nasrallah, and he goes out of it. Who is the Hezbollah leader who's just blown up in Lebanon? Um, and we know that he did the assassination in Iran itself, and now he's saying that very explicitly that they are willing to act in any country. Okay, in any country. Why would he be saying this? Why would he be saying this unless he's envisioning not an attack on Lebanon uh, or leaders in Lebanon, but somebody else, maybe the leadership in Iran. Let's keep watching. Yeah, so this is almost like the MAGA argument, right? And you almost wish the same message would get through to the neocons and whatnot, the warmongers in our own country, that maybe we shouldn't meddle in the affairs that don't concern us and use that money to invest in the American people. But I digress. Let's keep going. Okay, so that might be the money line right there. When the people are finally free, and that moment could come a lot sooner than people think. Um, why? Why would he think that it might come sooner than people think? What does he know that he's not telling us? Um, this is a strange statement, a loaded statement, I think, to imply that there is reason to think that the leadership of Iran won't be there, um, possibly sooner than people think, so that the people of Iran can do what? I don't know. Um, this is a loaded statement. This could be a veiled threat, not so veiled threat, to the Iranian leadership itself. Actually, it might not signal a direct attack on the Iranian government, the big wigs, um, but it could be a way to put them on notice and just to let them know that as far as Israel is concerned, they are not opposed to even doing a decapitation strike on Iranian leadership, the actual country of Iran. That and in hopes that Iran will withdraw its support from Hezbollah. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. These are the kinds of things I think we have to notice. All right, so let's go on. Okay, so again, this is an interesting thing. Like, what is he? Excuse me. What does he expect them to do? We've seen the Iranian people rise up. There was the famous one during the Obama years, which absolutely disgusts me even to this day, where the people of Iran rose up because they doubted their election, um, and they practically begged for international support. They begged for Obama to support, and Obama basically sold them out. And everyone said, whatever. And so that that was put down. And then there was another one a little bit more recently where people rose up, and then that was crushed. So what does Netanyahu actually think they're going to do different than previously? The fact that Netanyahu seems to think that there's going to be an opportunity for the Iranian people to stand up against a small band of theocrats, um, that's ominous to me. I mean, good if they can pull it off. I'm no fan of Iran, and I'm not super keen on getting involved in Israel like one way or the other either. But to suddenly have Israel directly attack the leadership of Iran is going to have huge ramifications across the board, and will affect us in ways that I don't think that that we are currently prepared for. Certainly, our government isn't, but individually, probably not either. But I'll return to that. Let's finish hearing what Netanyahu has to say to the people of Iran. So that was astonishing to me, um, almost unprecedented. So, what is Netanyahu? What's going to happen? What are the scenarios? Well, he could do the decapitation strike. I mean, they could actually do it, right? And then all hell would break loose, of course. Or it could just be a way to threaten Iran to pull back their support from Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. You know, basically by saying to the leadership of Iran, I mean, he said to the people of Iran that we are willing to go to any country to take out the people who are doing these things to our people. And so Nasrallah was, yeah, he was the intermediary, but everyone knows that it was Iran that was pushing that. It was Iran that equipped Hamas. The Houthis are not making missiles and rockets on their own. No, not the Houthis. Have you seen them? No, they're obviously getting them from Iran. So it is not a very large leap of logic for Israel to come to the conclusion that, you know, we've been whacking the leaders steadily and steadily and steadily, moving up the chain. Maybe it's time to take them out at the very top, at the Iranian theocrats and whatnot, the warmongers there. Um, and maybe they are going to do it, or maybe they're just saying, hey, back off, because you know that we'll come to you, and we've already struck in Iran itself. So we don't really know which way that's going to go, but um, this incursion into Lebanon is significant because, oh, Jiminy Crickets. You know what? I'm not going to answer that. I should have put my phone on mute, folks. How embarrassing. You know, what kind of production is this? This is ridiculous. We'll just let that go to message. I actually don't have much more to say here anyway. I just wanted to bring this to people's attention so that they can make preparations as necessary. So let me just sort of wrap it up quickly. When it'll still take a couple minutes. Um, the Gaza Strip, you know, that's basically like a territory that sort of belongs to Israel. You know, sort of. You know, there's some international lines there, but it's not another country, right? Per se. That's why there's all this talk about the having a two-state solution, because the point is going into the Gaza Strip is not the same as going into an actual country to physically put troops on the ground in another country. That is that's a red line for someone somewhere out there, right? That is a new step, and by showing that they're willing to go into an entirely different country with ground troops, and already assassinating people inside the country of Iran itself, uh, Israel is signaling in very clear terms that they are not opposed to going further into any country with boots on the ground if necessary. Come hell or high water, they're willing to do it. So it's hard to. I'm not actually. I know what Israel says their aims are with Hezbollah. They want to secure the northern territories of Israel, so their own citizens can go back to their homes. But what with their attempt to basically extinguish all of the Hamas fighters, it's hard to imagine that they're going to be too pleased to leave a very strong Hezbollah fighting force up there, and who knows what that'll take, because by all accounts, Hezbollah is a much more formidable foe. So, what could this mean for us? Like, why would I feel like I need to warn about a possible Black Swan event? So, imagine that this happens. Imagine that this escalates very quickly. Or imagine that Israel assassinates the Ayatollah. I mean, wow, right? Or something like that, or blows up a meeting of all the sheiks, or I actually don't know what the Israeli, the Iranian top council is called. Just imagine if that's what they decide to do. Well, what is going to be the consequence to that? So there's only so much that Hezbollah can do in Israel, because if they could do it, they would already be doing it, right? And I'm pretty sure that I'm reasonably confident that Hezbollah is actually glad that Israel is coming into Lebanon, because that's going to let them fight on more equal terms. Like right now, it's not like Hezbollah has a air force that they can take out to the Israel's air force that keeps bombing their targets or whatever. So I don't see them being able to do anything much more there. But the problem is, the issue is that whenever you have people who have nothing left to lose, like they're either going to completely lose all of their power, or they're actually going to be killed, then what's stopping them, especially if they're going to be killed anyway, what's stopping them from saying, well, then we may as well go whole hog. We're going to do it. This is the great problem with being too aggressive with Putin. I know that many people think that Putin's threats about nuclear war are just bluster. But if there's an assassination attempt directly on him that even comes close to succeeding, and he has any inclination of thinking that the CIA was behind it, or worse, Putin is actually gravely wounded in that. If Putin is gravely wounded from an assassination attempt that he thinks plausibly could be from at least financed by our country, and he's going to die anyway, he's got nothing else to lose, then why not? Why not do it? And I think something very similar could happen here with Hezbollah and Iran. If Iran feels that they have nothing left to lose, because mark my words, Iran has its forces not just in the Middle East, but they have been coming into our country for decades. They probably escalated quite a bit under the Biden administration with our open borders. And God only knows who is here to do us damage. And if they decide to activate those sleeper cells in America as a way to put pressure on Israel to hold back, to pull back, then we could find that our coffee shops are blowing up, that there are assassinations on the street here. We could find that what Hamas did in Israel almost a year ago, Hezbollah and Hamas and who knows what decided to do here as well. And they go into some cities, they kill a whole bunch of Americans, take a whole bunch of them hostage and hole up somewhere in a way to put pressure on Israel, so that Israel will stop doing whatever it is that Netanyahu is threatening to do here. This, in my opinion, that sort of unfolding of events only has one chance of succeeding for Iran, and that's if Trump is not the president and Kamala does not win. So, in other words, you've only got about 4 weeks for all this to unfold. And in the meantime, there's all that vulnerable oil out there, right? They could be shutting down oil pipelines. They could be blowing up infrastructure related to that. They don't actually have to kill Americans to bring us to our knees, which is a critical thing to note. So if we put them, or I say if Netanyahu puts Iran in a position where they've got nothing else to lose, then we need to watch out too. Buy gasoline, have a get out bag ready to go. By all means, make sure that you have your weapons and have them handy and nearby. Make sure that you are proficient with them, because we don't know how this could unfold. But I believe that everywhere across the world, everyone is prepping over the next 4 weeks. All the major things that they feel that they can get away with a weak America, now's the time for them to do it. And that kind of thinking and that kind of chaos could easily make things difficult here in America. And especially put that into the context of the dock strike, which might start tomorrow, which could shut down trade by Americans shutting down trade in America. Of course, you've got the hurricane. Of course, that's a little bit more regional. So these things could all come to a head at the worst possible time, before there is someone in the presidential office that could actually do something productive and constructive. But I'm not going to get too deep into that. So be ready, be prepared, folks. I don't know what this means, but it surely means something, and I think it would be foolish to disregard it. And hopefully, Netanyahu presumes that the Iranian people will be taking what he says seriously. I submit to you that we should be taking seriously what Netanyahu says to the Iranian people. All right, that's it. I'm done for this episode. In the description, I've got a Telegram link. I'm on Telegram now, so I don't have to fight through the algorithm and the censorship of YouTube and whatnot. Find me on Telegram. I am simultaneously streaming this video both on YouTube and Telegram at the same time. And Telegram allows me to give more real-time updates also anyway. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Spread the word. The Philosopher King 2.0 is back in the house. See you on Telegram and see you again soon. Thanks for watching.